Okay, it's January 4, and it's 16 hours. So, afternoon workout. It's okay, we'll try. Gonna try, just got a new pair of running shoes. So, gonna try them. I don't even know how to pronounce this brand. Unfortunately, Saucony? How I have to ask my boyfriend how to pronounce this. Well, anyway, it's supposed to be the best of the best. We will see. They definitely super light, super light, super light. We'll see, and it's. If I wasn't excellent runner before, these shoes will bring me to that level. I don't know. All this time since I've been running, I always wear Hoka. I have so many Hokas, it's not even funny. But this is nice. This is nice. We'll see. I am not paid for advertising anything. This is not an advertising. This is strictly my thought on a new product that I got. That's it. Okay, let's do it. Shoes is a big part of I already lose my toenails, so and my Hoka, which one I always run, it's already have the amount, the volume of the miles I can put on it. Okay, anyway, they're so freaking light, not even fine.
Hey guys, welcome back. I'm your trainer Tommy Ribs, and we are here again in the beautiful country of Switzerland on part 2 of our climb up Hardercombe. We're going to start out with a nice warm-up, just like always.
Oh, it's gonna be a brutal hike.
Just to this new level of activity.
Incline 6
Take some
to
deep
start.
breaths. Focus in on what we've got going today. Let's take the first couple of minutes to just slowly ease into this. When I wake up in the morning, I've got to go out and do a workout. A lot of times, especially if I'm in a big training block or it's after a hard or a really long, moderate intensity workout, I get up and I'm literally dead to the world. And so I've got to, I get some breakfast, I get some fluids, and then a lot of times for the first several minutes, I'm literally just trudging along, not running, not even hiking really. I'll walk for 10 or 15 minutes sometimes, just let my body warm up. I'll talk on the phone through a headset. I'll listen to podcasts, I'll listen to music. Whatever it is that I've got to do, just to go through those motions in the very beginning. And the reason is because as I start doing that, especially if it's cold outside, it allows my body to start to warm up. And you can literally feel a shift, that change in the chemicals that are coursing through your blood, that change in hormones. When I say change in hormones, I mean that release of those hormones, those neurotransmitters that enable your body to work more effectively. So the endorphins that are produced and then circulate.
I'm just going to go to the Petro Canada at the end. They sell lotto tickets.
Yeah.
I forgot to buy for me, Edo and Ray. Imagine if we had won and I didn't buy. I think I've already missed a job.
Changes your perspective on everything. And after, some days it's
I'm just going to run up. I have time before the game starts at 4:30.
You want me to come with you?
No, baby, I want you. How are your shoes?
It's good. How the fuck you pronounce it? Saucony?
Saucony.
Saucony.
S-A-U. Saw, like a saw.
I read, but I don't know how to freaking say it.
Saucony. Yeah. Okay, but how do they feel?
Start going
Good.
harder, like
They're
today,
like
when
one
you're
of the
working
top
moderate
5
intensity, it's
most
more exhilarating.
advanced.
Your body's
So
primed,
far, so
your
good.
body's ready to
Okay,
do it.
baby. You let me know. I'm
Yeah.
going, I'll be right back.
Transition is not so
Imagine.
uncomfortable. So make sure you take these first few minutes just to get moving, clear your mind, focus in on what we're gonna do. Today, another moderate intensity climb. So right now, I want you to work up a light intensity, so 4 out of 10 on your RPE, your rate of perceived exertion. Slow down that pace just a little bit, but make sure that your steps are more deliberate. So really engaging that posterior chain, like we talked about before. I want you to take deep breaths, really expand those lungs. Deep inhale, long exhale. Get your body ready. If you feel any tightness in your arms, go ahead and work that out. This doesn't have to be exact. It's different for everybody based off of whatever you've been doing. When I was in school, my shoulders used to get really sore. For the longest time, I couldn't figure out why my shoulders would hurt because I spent most of my time just running and studying. I also had these scabs that would develop on my elbows. It literally bleed from my elbows, and I couldn't figure out what it was. And then one day I realized I spent so many hours a day studying on my elbows on the desk, just propping my face up as I was reading a book. And I was putting tons of stress through my shoulders, and I was giving myself rug burns on my elbows as I'd sit and study. So, as weird as it sounds, as a runner, I'd have to go through this extensive shoulder warm-up just because my study muscles were super sore. So, whatever you gotta do, just shake out those muscles, get ready to transition. All right.
Incline 10. We are climbing.
Just
We are
another
climbing.
minute or so, and then we'll work up to moderate intensity. So it should just be a gradual shift. Once I say go, give yourself about a minute to raise that heart rate up to 85% of your max. Right now, begin that transition, a gentle shift to 85% of your max heart rate. Really elongate those
Incline
strides.
5.
Make sure you're driving forward with your legs. Remember that 90-90 is what we're looking for on that swing leg. So 90 degrees of flexion in your hip, 90 degrees of flexion in your knee. Stance leg. That knee is going into terminal extension or full extension, and as we do that, we come up onto our toes. At the same time as we're flexing our glutes to drive us forward, we're also flexing our lower legs. So coming up on our toes and flexing our legs. All right, so check out that view, guys. We've got
Incline
the
12.
paragliders that are coming down the mountain. We've got this beautiful river that connects these two lakes. So that river is the highest river which both starts and empties in Switzerland. Connects those two lakes. In between, we have Interlaken, that city which literally means between those two lakes. Again, just to catch up on where we are geographically, this is the canton of Bern. Bern is also the name of the capital of Switzerland. Bern is also the name where Bernese Alps comes from. So the Alps that we'll be able to see as we work up
Incline
higher
15.
and higher up these peaks or up this climb.
And I think he's staying here.
The layout in front of
15.
us, giving that nice backdrop to Interlaken or the Bernese Alps. So that expression, Bernese, is also where Bernese mountain dogs come from. You may have seen those dogs. They look like these big nice and tall. Remember, 85% of that max heart rate. It's amazing how much work we're able to do. Remember the way that we define work scientifically. If you've ever taken a physics class or a chemistry class, you'll remember that work, the way that we measure the energy is in watts. But that definition of work is energy directed towards an object with the intention of displacement. So what we're doing right now, putting in this work, we're literally just directing energy towards the object. The object is ourselves, with the intention of displacement. That displacement, in this case, is from the bottom of the climb all the way up to the top of the climb. So we're trying to do that, and we're trying to gauge that. Quantifiably, we're trying to keep that level of work right at 85% of our max heart rate. But really, when we reduce it, it just comes down to moving this object, moving ourselves from one spot to another. So depending on the mass of that object, depending on the distance we're carrying it, and depending on any change in height, that will determine the amount of energy that's required. So everybody is at a different starting point based off of your shape or your size or your fitness level, how efficient you are at generating that energy. Essentially what we're trying to do is become better machines, more capable of producing power, having better efficiency, which means that that power is directed towards movement and not wasted. And also we want to have endurance. At the end of the day, another thing that we need is longevity. So making sure that we don't break down these systems in a way that isn't positive. If we're breaking things down faster than we're able to build them up, what happens is these engines that we're creating, they don't last very long. We break down the frames. We might have a lot of horsepower, but if the frame is unable to maintain that horsepower, it doesn't do us a lot of good. Think about an automobile. Think about the differences in types of automobiles. You've got sports cars, you've got off-road vehicles, you've got Mack trucks, they're like semis that are just designed for long haul, hard work. Everybody is designed differently based off of your experience in athletics or your experience in recreation. Everyone is built differently. So our structures, our muscles, our joints, our tendons, our ligaments, our fascia, all of these make up this frame. Imagine a chassis on a vehicle. That frame, that chassis for a vehicle that's a sports car or a race car is very different than a car that's designed for off-road. So when we're climbing and we're hiking in these really rugged areas, when we're going into these lateral movements where we're creating strength in these stabilizing muscles, these external rotators in our hips, the gluteus medius and gluteus minimus, all of this is strengthening our frame and giving us a new set of skills so that we can go basically off-road, different terrain. It allows us to be more variable as basically, if we think of us as automobiles. The strength that our heart and our lungs and our blood is producing is what gives us our horsepower. So the more horsepower we have, the better efficiency we have. Think about fuel economy. The better miles per gallon we get. So the better we're able to use oxygen and water, and in this case, gas. It's no different than the way an internal combustion engine works, where you combine oxygen and gasoline. That comes together. The oxygen comes through the carburetor, it's pumped in, and it allows that ignition. It allows that increase in energy. The bodies are really, really similar, guys. So think of those analogies as we're working out. Make sure that we're keeping our frame strong. Make sure that we're listening to that feedback that comes in the form of pain, making sure that if we're doing too much too soon, our body's whispering. It's letting us know you need to back off. You need to allow these tissues to strengthen and increase slowly and adaptively at the rate of the slowest adapter. So again, these adapters are all of our different structural tissues, our muscles, our bones, our tendons, our ligaments, our fascia. We're looking for cohesion. Cohesion is that state where all of these structures are adapting at the same rate, or at the very least, what we have to do is adapt at the rate of the slowest adapter. When we're not adapting at the rate of that slowest adapter, we will inevitably get injured, and that'll derail the entire program. Nice and tall. Check in real quick, make sure we're at 85% of our max heart rate. Make sure that we're really driving with those glutes. Guys, check out that incredible lake. That blue water. These glacial lakes, they get that blue, opaque almost hue. It looks fake. And what's happening is there's particles, there's sediment in the water that comes from erosion that takes place as these rivers come down from the Alps. The glaciers melt. They bring particles of those rocks, pieces of granite, pieces of different soil. All of that accumulates in those glacial waters. And what it does is it provides a backdrop. So when light comes through and it hits that water, it's able to hit that backdrop and reflect backwards. And that's why we see that iconic blue, hazy look in these high alpine glacier type lakes. Alright, nice and strong, guys. Let's keep moving up. So guys, we're going to keep working our way up this hill. Depending on how high we get up, there are natural animals, these wild goats that live up here, these alpine goats. They're known as ibex, I-B-E-X. Ibex is the specific name for these types of wild goats that live up here in this area. So it's this icon that they have. There'll be statues throughout different cities in Switzerland, something that they're really proud of, because that type of goat, they're incredible. They're these small goats, but they have these huge racks, these huge horns that come up. And along these horns, they have ridges, at least the male ibex. So to climb up on these really steep cliff sides, they actually prefer almost the steeper the better. So a few years ago, there was this video, or this image that went viral, where it showed ibex climbing literally on the face of a dam. They were climbing up on the seams between the way that these blocks were held together, and they were eating the moss that grew in between, literally up on the face of that dam. So their ability to climb and scale these mountains is absolutely incredible. They've actually been really like one of my favorite animals for a long time. I feel like if I could be any type of animal, I'd want to be an ibex. They live at around 10,000 feet in elevation, really high. That's where they go up in the summers. And they live on these crazy, really steep areas. Really resourceful. So they don't, they don't have dens or anything like that. But they live up in these rugged conditions. And when there's rain or when there's snow, they just go into these little overhangs and just burrow down, wait till the conditions get better, and then come out and just keep eating grass and moss, fight each other with their horns, basically trying to assert themselves as the dominant males. Essentially comes down to a struggle for resources, water, food, and beautiful female ibex, so that they can propagate their seed, continue on to another generation. Alright. Nice and easy, guys.
Hey, incline 15.
So these animals, these ibex, I wasn't going to get into the track, but man, now it's like flowing through my head, and I kind of nerd out on stuff like this. You guys have probably picked that up by now. These ibex, they're known as, well, their specific type of goat. So goats, their genus is, the Latin is capra, so C-A-P-R-A. In Spanish or in Portuguese, the word for goat is cabra with a B. It comes from that main Latin word capra, which is the ibex, and then which means goat, and then they're specifically ibex. That's the way that they're able to distinguish them. If we were to study these like zoologically. Guys, check out that lake right there. See that beautiful blue water? That haze, that opaque type blue. Look, it doesn't even look real. It's incredible the way that the Swiss have had, you know, a similar color pattern with tiles on all the roofs. The way that that contrasts in the little towns of Interlaken. Guys, taking that view. Check in, make sure that the intensity level is right. Make sure that we're 85% moderate intensity. Keep climbing up, guys. This is going to get really steep. Into the channel, that inner ibex. That's what I'm doing anyway. Seriously, I think about that. I think about how these animals, they have the ability to adapt at these high elevations. I wonder how fit their blood must be. Running and moving. We're going to be real careful as we come through this area. This is a live electric fence. Keep moving, guys. Move. Alright, nice and tall. Channel that ibex. Steeper and steeper, guys. Here we go. So ibex as a species are considered to be sexually dimorphic. What that means is that the males and the females have completely different physical characteristics after they mature. So sexually dimorphic, that's a characterization that's used for all different types of animals. When the male and the females look really different. So think about a hen compared to a rooster. Think about a bull compared to a female cow. Really even think about humans. So humans are sexually dimorphic. That means that the males and the females look different. At least they used to. So when grooming standards aren't what they are today, males look so much different than females do. This is something that affects not only the physical appearance, where one may be larger than the other, or they may have more ornate, pageantry than the other. Think about peacock, lab recovered schemes, and then female peacocks. Female peacocks get kind of ripped off in terms of the way that they look. So these ibex, you've got these giant horns. They come back to male ibex. The female ibex, they look like more like a typical goat. So male ibex, their personality is even different. The hormones make up their personality are different than the female type ibex. So you might think that it sounds a little bit odd. No different than what happens with human beings as well. So human beings, personalities are different, affected by their hormones. If you don't think that's true, think really quick about a bunch of frat boys at junior college. Think about the way that they act when they're by themselves compared to the way that they act when they're around a bunch of young co-eds. So all of this, at the end of the day, same as ibex. That's the part of the story. Okay, keep moving, guys. On our way up to harder cone. So harder again is that specific low range. Cone means that amount. 2 workouts on this guy. Starting to think maybe harder actually has to do with intensity. That's the whole point of this though, guys. As we continue to climb, we create that effect of cumulative fatigue. So just like we're working today, effort may feel a little bit more difficult when feel this effort. We can feel this intensity, but we don't want to get sloppy. We don't want to waste energy on, being vocal or demonstrative with that effort. So you see the very best athletes in the world, they're moving along. It looks absolutely effortless. If you see the view of them, the marathoners, they're racing, the Boston Marathon, racing in the Olympics. If you see from their chest up, it looks like they're just out on an easy morning stroll. It shows their legs though, you're able to see how fast these guys or these girls are actually going. So it actually wastes extra energy if we're all over the place, if we're snarling with our faces, if we're blowing spit and snot all over the place. It's actually more efficient if we stay controlled, we try to be non-reactive or non-responsive, at least in terms of how we project ourselves externally, while we have all of that effort going on below. If you need an example of that, think about a duck. Think about a duck on top of water. So, lots of different things float on water. Wood, ducks. You look at these ducks, you look at their bodies when they're above the water, everything is stoic. Everything is moving along without any expression. But if you were to take a view underneath the water, you see these little feet going so fast as that duck moves across the water. So think about that as you're working out. Try your very best to stay stoic. Try to conceal all of that effort and stay non-reactive. Nice and tall, guys. Okay, guys. Right now, I want you to bring that intensity level down. Good job. What we're going to do now is work into our cool down. So we're still hiking. This is still steep. And believe it or not, guys, it's possible to cool down, to bring your heart rate down, even if we're still working at a high incline. So go ahead and shift laterally. Small steps of working those lateral stabilizing muscles. Remember, we're building our frame, that chassis. We want to have something that has strength sufficient to be able to handle all of that horsepower that we developed. We're going to go just a little bit more. Come up and take in this view. We got a break in the trees. We're going to come up right up against this old train system. So this is a cable, a train cable that is used to carry stuff up and down the mountain. The nice thing about it is it cuts the trees out of the way. It allows us to take in a little bit of the view from down below. Alright, so bring that heart rate down, even lower, nice and slow. Take a couple of deep breaths, guys. Congratulate yourself for all the hard work that you put in. Get ready, because tomorrow we're going to come back and do it again. So right now, everything you can do to recover between now and then, hydration, nutrition, rest, all of those things. Guys, I'm your trainer, Tommy Ribs, and I'll see you next time.
Okay, and it's done. We did a little hike today. A little hike. It's good. It's good, it's good. Incline. Incline, incline, incline. I'm gonna write something down before I forget. Isn't it funny? I keep hearing like something taking a picture. But it's not my phone. Is it this fucking thing doing this? During a workout, I hear 2 or 3 times, plus now 1. It's like they're taking a picture. There is a camera, people. I think I have to cover it. It's funny. What is happening? Anyways. So the shoes are very, very good. The shoes are very, very good. Well, for hiking, there they are. So light. Okay. I need to do 2 more things. $15 instead of 12. Isn't it funny? This sounds like something taking picture. There is no one here. It's not my phone. It must be that. And that's it. And that's it. So nice little incline. Okay, there is a football game on. I should say it's American football. It's not a football. It's American football. Football, it's which they refer here in North America as a soccer, which is not a soccer. It's a football. If you know, you know. Oh. Okay. So it's good. It's good. It's good. Like I said, this is not a paid advertisement. I am not getting paid for it. It's just my personal opinion. It's very light. It's very comfortable. I love my Hokas too. Been wearing them for a while now. I have different kinds. But this, well, even compared to which one I ran the marathon in, it's March 5, not March, March, MACH age 5. This is the actually they're both super light. I don't know which one is heavier. The first marathon I ran in this, in my opinion, it's only my opinion, this is not a marathon shoe. My podiatrist recommended this Bondi 8, too wide for walking, for running a little bit, for anything, not for a marathon. Anyway, not for me. I have a few like that designs. Anyway, it's great. Yeah. Speed roll technology. That's great. Okay. That was a beautiful present I got today. I love the color. Love the color. Anyway, that was incline at 15. My heart rate was 75, tipping into 80% of the max. And that's it. When I'm gonna do weights, I'll show what I got for Christmas. That's really awesome present though. Kettlebells, a set of them. It's make me happy, this stuff. It make me happy, this stuff. It make me happy, and I do use it. I do use it. That's it. Feeling better. I'm getting better. Still, but oh my god, compared to the January 1st. No, it's пиздец, блядь. Anyway. Alrighty then. My cats are sitting and waiting for me because I need to clean the litter box. Yeah, that's right. That's right. I'm gonna shovel it. Everybody have a good evening. Let's go watch a American football.